Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another video. So I did the same sort of video for Rangers of the New Republic, but today we're going to be talking about some big characters that we can expect to see in the upcoming series, The Book of Boba Fett. We don't know too much about the show, and we got a little glimpse at the end of the Mandalorian Season 2 finale where Boba Fett has taken over the Tatooine underworld crime scene. The show drops in December of this year, so the wait is not as long as the Mandalorian Season 3. And I will just say as a disclaimer for this video, I will not be including the obvious two characters of Boba Fett and Fennec Shand because they are a given. So without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. The first character that we can expect to see is Boba Fett's daughter, Ailyn Vel. This isn't the first time I've spoken about her on the channel, but I think it's very relevant for this video. She was a near-human bounty hunter, the daughter of Boba Fett and Sintas Vel, and the granddaughter, obviously, of Jango Fett. When Ailyn was just a baby, her father Boba was forced to leave her and her mother. By the time that she was 16, her mother disappeared, leaving her all by herself. She became a very successful bounty hunter just like her father and devoted many years to hunting her father down to avenge her mother's death. She eventually killed a clone of her grandfather Jango Fett, which she believed was Boba. Could she appear as a foe in the Book of Boba Fett? Time will tell, but I think she would be a great selection. So the next character is actually a group of characters, and these are the famous bounty hunters from the original trilogy. There was a rumour going around a few days ago that these bounty hunters were going to show up in the Book of Boba, so let's go through some of the main ones now. The first one is Zuckuss. Zuckuss was a male insectoid Gand findsman who worked as a bounty hunter prior to and during the Galactic Civil War. The next bounty hunter is Dengar. Dengar, also known as Dengar the Demolisher, was a Corellian bounty hunter operating since the early stages of the Clone Wars. He's pretty huge in Star Wars lore and participated in an operation on Quartzite, during which he served as a member of Krait's Claw, a syndicate of hunters including Boba Fett, Bossk and Asajj Ventress. Now speaking of Bossk, he is the next one. Bossk was a male Trandoshan bounty hunter and the son of Kradosk, who was also known for hunting Wookiees. During the Clone Wars, Bossk worked alongside fellow hunters Aurra Sing and Castus to mentor the orphaned Boba Fett. Their scheme to kill Fett's hated enemy Mace Windu resulted in Fett and Bosk's arrest. He's most famous for his work after the rise of the Empire, where Bossk continued to be one of the biggest names in the bounty hunting business, despite eventually drifting apart from Boba and working mostly solo. At one point, he travelled to the Outer Rim planet of Lothal to collect a bounty. His presence would certainly be a welcome one in the Book of Boba Fett. And in this group of bounty hunters, how could we forget IG-88? With links to Darth Vader and Jabba the Hutt, who are both dead at this point in the timeline, it'd be really interesting to see him again. So now let's talk about the Hutts. The Hutts will no doubt appear in the Book of Boba Fett. After all, Bib Fortuna was the leader of the criminal underworld of Tatooine, but needless to say, the Hutts were probably after him. At this point, while Jabba the Hutt is dead, Rotta the Hutt would very much still be alive and be an adult Hutt. Rotta, if you remember in the Clone Wars, was secretly kidnapped by the Confederacy of Independent Systems, which was orchestrated by Count Dooku with help from Zero, Rotta's great uncle. The plot was meant to discredit the Jedi Order and scuttle negotiations between the Galactic Republic and the Hutts, but the Jedi were able to rescue him. He was kidnapped by Asajj Ventress and taken to the planet of Teth. Then the Jedi came and got him. He then became sick and nearly died on his way to Tatooine, but he's very much alive during the events of the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm almost certain we will see the Hutts again when the Book of Boba Fett drops. And next, how could we forget Han Solo and Chewie? If Boba has a nemesis, it is Solo. Favreau has shown that he follows storytelling logic and that every character is available to him. If Boba is the type to hold a grudge, we could be set for another classic showdown. There is a possibility that the show could include flashbacks, and this could be an opportunity to reintroduce Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo himself to ease viewers into seeing him playing Solo in the present timeline. There were rumours a few weeks ago that Han Solo would appear in the Mandalorian universe at some point, so I guess the most logical introduction would either be The Mandalorian Season 3 or the Book of Boba Fett to make it rhyme with the events of Return of the Jedi. So now we're going to think a little bit more outside of the box. The next character is Black Chrysanthemum. This is essentially a Wookiee who is the anti-Chewbacca. He is a Wookiee bounty hunter that has made regular appearances in the Star Wars comics ever since the Marvel relaunch and has teamed up with Boba Fett numerous times. It'd be really cool to see them introduce him into live action, and let's be honest, he is pretty terrifying. Our next character is Jodo Kast. I imagine that this character would be very high on the list of fans who read a lot of the Dark Horse comics back in the early 90s. This bounty hunter impersonated Boba Fett a few times after it was believed that Boba was dead. In fact, Kast repainted his armor and traded on the legend of Boba Fett for a long time. When Fett eventually caught up to him, it wasn't pretty. Given that Boba Fett was out of commission for 5 years or so, it's likely someone could have used his name just like Cobb Vanth used his armor, and Jodo Kast would be a pretty good choice for this show. Now, speaking of Cobb Vanth, he is our next character. Since Boba Fett has returned to Tatooine and has an apparent vendetta against those who wronged him, Cobb Vanth seems like a likely candidate to appear in the series. As we know from The Mandalorian Season 2 and also Empire's End, Cobb Vanth found Boba Fett's salvaged armor aboard a Jawa sandcrawler and used it in his role as marshal of his remote Tatooine village. He willingly gave the armor to Din Djarin after he helped Vanth defeat a Krayt monster. Next up, we have a fan favourite, Hondo Ohnaka. Another character Boba Fett likely has a grudge against is Hondo, a Clone Wars side character that fans fell in love with. A young Boba Fett lost his father's iconic ship, the Slave One, in an effort to take revenge on Mace Windu. Hondo reclaimed the damaged ship and repaired it. At some point, Boba Fett got the ship back, but he may be looking to settle some old scores in the new series. Hondo Ohnaka could be also looking for a new gig in the New Republic era, so let's see if he makes an appearance. We spoke about Han, but let's talk about Qi'ra because she is the next character who we can expect to appear in the Boba Fett series. It's clear that the series will deal with the criminal underworld of Star Wars. The radical takeover of what remains of Jabba the Hutt's criminal syndicate could put him in direct conflict with other entities in the galaxy. One of them could be Crimson Dawn. It's uncertain of what became of Qi'ra after Solo: A Star Wars Story, but it's very possible that she is still in charge and perhaps has expanded her influence. Could this lead to conflict with Boba? We'll have to find out. And finally, mis amigos, we're talking about Cad Bane. Another fearsome bounty hunter in the galaxy who might be on Boba Fett's hit list is Cad Bane. One of the most powerful bounty hunters in the galaxy, this Clone Wars villain also has a history with Boba. Well, kind of. One of the unfinished story arcs from the animated series involved Cad Bane being responsible for the dent in Boba Fett's helmet. Some Star Wars books and comics now designated legends are partially canon, so this arc could be as well. So those are the characters that I think we can expect to see in the Book of Boba Fett this December. Let me know what you think of my list in the comments down below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and also be sure to give the notification bell a good old tickle. I'm Star Wars Neg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.